It all started with a rumor. In 2022, blogs and employees had picked up some chatter about a possible return of their former flagship, even though it had been ousted more than 2 years ago and declared commercially unviable several times. Etihad's then CEO Tony Douglas had only just doubled down and claimed that for every A380 flight, the airline could operate almost 2.5 787 flights instead, a fact that should have crushed all hopes. Yet the rumors came pouring in, and on December 9, 2022, Etihad released a press statement confirming the unthinkable. The A380 was bound to return. After the unfortunate turnout of Etihad's expansion in the years prior, COVID was yet another strike that let the carrier tumble and demanded a slim and profitable operation. Despite the challenges, the airline successfully recovered and turned prospects around. With new partnerships, improved onboard services and additional destinations, Etihad would now bring back its most prestigious aircraft, and with it, both the popular first apartments as well as the only 3-room suite in the sky, the Residence. The Inaugural was scheduled for the 15th of July, flying from Abu Dhabi to London Heathrow. This was a flight that I couldn't dare miss, so I booked tickets for my girlfriend Ashira and me in the first apartment, just days after they became available in December 2022, which left a good 8 months in which we anticipated departure. In the end, the flight was rescheduled to July 25th, and luckily we were able to move our itinerary to match. And after flying the A380 4 times over the course of 2 weeks in both first class and the Residence, I can say with absolute certainty that yes indeed, Etihad Airways is back.
Welcome back to the Cinematic Flight Reports and this very special episode. Just as in 2014, the A380's inaugural is going to be Etihad 11, leaving Abu Dhabi International at 2:05 AM and arriving at Heathrow at 6:45, with a scheduled block time of 7 hours and 40 minutes. Enjoy. July in Abu Dhabi means peak for heat and humidity, and daytime is best spent indoors. Ashira and I checked in at the Conrad Abu Dhabi Etihad Towers, which would be our base camp throughout our time in the UAE. Located at the city's Corniche, the 5-tower and 79-floor complex combines residential living with the conveniences of a business hotel, offering well-appointed luxurious accommodations, as well as office space and mall access. In recognition of my previous stays and honest diamonds here, the hotel kindly offered an upgrade from a standard room to a junior suite on one of their highest floors, which at 60 square meters had plenty of space to accommodate our long stay. Despite the lack of an executive lounge, the property treats diamond guests well, from preferred seating and additional menu items at breakfast to a daily changing buffet of small bites in the early evening, drinks included. This business hotel ticked all the boxes. Efficient and swift communications, reliable services and a high F&B quality will make us come back. And it was also doing breakfast that an unexpected coincidence would get us even more excited about the upcoming inaugural.
So it's the morning before departure and I was going to check in our flights when I noticed something odd. Suddenly, the residence suite was available as a paid upgrade. It actually had not been bookable for this very flight throughout the entire 8 months. And I knew that this probably was just a mistake, but still, I couldn't resist. Originally, we had reserved my favorite seats, 3 and 4K. Yet after the date changes, we had to choose 1 and 2H as the others were already taken. So a change to the residence sounded even better. And with a little help of an Etihad agent on the phone, I actually got the payment through and the upgrade confirmed. Suddenly I found myself in row 1 and got pretty excited. Yet a few hours later, while Ashira and I were packing, my phone rang. And of course it was another Etihad agent who very politely explained to me that the little stunt I had just pulled would not work and that they were unable to honor the ticket as the residence was not meant to be sold on this flight. He was very apologetic and asked me for my understanding, and I of course told him that this was expected and that it didn't bother me at all. A few minutes later he called back to confirm my previous seats and on top offered me 20,000 guest miles for my troubles, which I of course accepted.
Take care, have a good day. Thank you.
With that episode behind us, it was about time to leave the hotel and start our journey to Abu Dhabi Airport. Paid first-class tickets with Etihad are eligible for a complimentary chauffeur service within the UAE, which can be booked online. Yet the thing is that with this booking form, you can only select a car to pick you up to 6 hours before departure, which 99% of the time should be early enough. Yet on that day, with our departure time of 2 or 5 AM, I really wanted to take it slow at the airport and have a relaxed stay and dinner in the first-class lounge, before then taking in the atmosphere at the gate way prior to boarding time, and all of that. So we ended up turning the transfer down and took a cab instead, and after leaving the hotel at around 7 PM, we were on track for a 7:30 arrival at the airport.
Terminal 3 Etihad. So all the way to the end.
This early into the evening, way before rush hour, we had all the time in the world to lean back and let everything come to us. Stepping out into the hot and humid evening air, the excitement was palpable. Waiting inside was the expectedly deserted check-in area, and that was true for both business and first class alike. With no wait, the handover of our bags as well as the printing of our boarding passes were nothing more than a 5-minute formality. Passport control, security check and the entrance to the first class lounge were all located within 50 meters from the counters, so we presented our boarding passes to the clerk just moments later and stepped inside. This was going to be Ashira's first visit to the lounge, yet I had of course told her all about it and more in the weeks before. About the no-close spa, the fitness room, the cigar lounge, as well as the residence quarters, and last but not least, about the excellent restaurant that, together with the bar, was ranking at the very top of my list throughout the years. Today, unlike on my recent visits, the lounge even carried a noticeable buzz right after we walked through the elevator stores.
Initially, I had planned to give Ashira the tour right away, yet we were stopped halfway. Apparently, my attempt to book the residence that morning had sent more ripples to the company than I thought, and the people at Etihad decided not to just leave it at miles for compensation, but instead prepared a unique surprise for us.
At the end of the main hallway, behind a set of sliding doors, lies a private VIP room that usually features a lounge area as well as a personal dining setup with first-class amenities, giving you the option of a private dinner before your flight. It also has a washroom in typical Etihad fashion that, in addition to the Aqua di Parma amenities, is also equipped with a shower, and all of this allows you to have a fully secluded experience right within the first-class lounge.
Usually it sells for $100 and I had just recently booked it on my trip to Washington DC. Yet today, Etihad offered it complimentary. And not only that, in order to give us the most memorable stay possible, they went ahead and provided us with the full residence ground experience, including all of its amenities.
For that, the room had to undergo a minor transformation. The dining table was now decked out with the beautiful Bernardo porcelain and extravagant silverware, as well as the Vera Wang designed glassware, something otherwise exclusively available in the big residence suite next door, as well as on board. The bar area behind was carefully prepared and offered self-service delights, featuring their beautiful white and gold fincans for Arabic coffee, a selection of sweets and dates, as well as a lavish fruit basket. All of this felt like a welcome blast from the past, and I couldn't have wished for a warmer welcome on this very special day. Definitely a successful surprise. To cater to our every need, 2 members of the lounge team were assigned to guide us through the evening, and as soon as we had settled in and took a tour of the room's features, we were greeted with 2 mocktails from the Mission Impossible specials and sat down in the lounge area of the room in order to take a look at the menu. In their first-class lounge, Etihad had always offered an elevated dining experience, as in their open kitchen food is actually cooked and fried, not just reheated. You may choose from a wide range of breakfast dishes and made-to-order egg specialties, accompanied by barista coffee in the morning, as well as a well-curated all-day dining menu, which with 4 starters, 8 main courses as well as 5 desserts, offers a taste for everyone. Brut and Rosé champagne, as well as 8 different wines, mark just the tip of the iceberg in beverage offerings, as the bar features a wide selection of spirits, and the barkeepers are happy to serve up your favorite cocktail. Time to place our order.
Chicken masala,
Yes.
sure. And if you like to have some salad, out of the menu I can get you some green salad for you with avocado and some olives on the top.
To start the evening off in style, we chose to have a glass of the Brut champagne, which was already waiting for us in a cooler. This lounge is one of the few in the world where you can actually enjoy a multi-course sit-down dinner and feel just like you would on a night out, as the atmosphere, the service and F&B quality are just that good.
I'll be back with your waters.
Sure, thank you.
And today, that's just what we came here to do.
Nice glasses. Cheers.
I know that this must sound like I'm praising Etihad to the skies here, but it was really impressive to see the ornate preparation they put in to make this a special evening. Every detail was considered, every wine bottle of the menu had been prepared for us in case we would ask for a glass. They really made us feel like royalty.
Now to the food. We had indeed ordered the off-the-menu salad to share, and next to the soft beverages and water, we decided to stay with the 2009 Stand-Up champagne for the moment. In addition to the green salad, Ashira and I both had the rustic tomato soup to start, and it didn't disappoint. For her main course of chicken masala, Ashira went with a glass of the dry Riesling, which was promptly offered for a taste. Despite all the formal service steps, interactions felt very natural, which made us feel right at home. For my steak order, I chose the Saint-Emilion.
Perfect. It almost tastes like you have opened it and put it in to air a little bit for a while.
That's correct.
Ha! Ha! Thank you.
My remark might have been douchey, but the fact that I was correct speaks volumes about the quality of service that Etihad provided. The served main courses didn't fall short either. Accompanied by a double shot of espresso. Dessert then came in the form of a rich vanilla mousse with mango and berry topping, also one of the movie-related specials. That concluded our dinner experience for this evening, and right around midnight we would then get ready to leave the lounge as we wanted to spare enough time to enjoy the atmosphere at the gate before boarding, which was expected to commence shortly after 1 AM. The residence ground experience also includes a personal assistant that will escort you right to the boarding gate and make sure you get on board the aircraft first. During our short walk past the duty-free shops, my excitement had now reached boiling point, as it was only a matter of minutes before I would be able to once again set foot on my favorite aircraft. And there it was, patiently waiting in the dark to once again take the spotlight. Meanwhile, at the gate, the festivities were well underway, and executives of both Etihad and the airport came together to take the obligatory photos, commemorating this important milestone for the company. When the first A380 left Abu Dhabi almost 9 years ago, it was not only the inaugural flight of a new aircraft, but it was also the event that changed Etihad's appearance to the familiar look we recognize today. On this very flight, Etihad launched their cabin crew uniforms as well as their beautiful facets of Abu Dhabi livery, that since then has been rolled out to every new Etihad aircraft in the fleet. Tonight's relaunch would soon add another chapter to that story. With the official part over, passengers were now invited to take snapshots themselves before joining the waiting area after an additional security check. Chocolates were handed out to everyone, and now it was time to get to the front of the line and wait for boarding to begin. In the days prior, I had speculated that this flight might be attended by paid influencers flying on Etihad's invitation, yet by now I knew that that was not the case. The residents had been assigned to print media, and in first class we were just 3 guys with cameras, including myself, and I felt that all of us made a point to be there because we were passionate about the event. A refreshing and admirable approach, as Etihad apparently was confident that the product would speak for itself. They even cleared us to show the full experience, a unique opportunity, which I absolutely appreciate. Then the big moment came, and passengers were allowed to set foot on the jet bridge. After 3 years on ground, Etihad's A380 was now only one more turn and a small incline away.
Escorted to your private suite.
Thank you.
Hi, Peter, welcome aboard.
Hey, how are you doing?
Delighted to have you on board. Welcome.
Fantastic, thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Drenched in a golden orange hue, the first-class cabin had lost none of its original wow factor. First impressions had both Ashira and me stunned, as our 2 apartments showed a remarkably open and spacious layout. While Ashira would take a seat in 1H and therefore be flying backward, I'd be sitting right across in row 2, allowing us to partially open the divider in the middle, a feature which comes in especially handy when the bed has been made. Then we took a look at the apartment's other features and amenities before settling in and storing our luggage.
For you? Amazing. This is from Etihad Airways.
Sorry, I didn't want to steal.
And this is for you.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Before takeoff, we both sat in the second row, and shortly after, Etihad surprised us with a gift bag.
Inside were chocolates, a postcard, a cute fridge magnet, and, exclusively for first class, this beautiful model of the very A380 we were sitting in, with matching tail numbers and everything.
And this is... I hope it's the model. Fresh carrot juice. Yeah. I like to have orange juice and tomatoes. Yeah.
To mix it or you want separate? Separate.
I just have the
Thanks.
With our welcome drinks ordered, we then turned to the menu, which today paid tribute to the occasion and its design. And as this was a night flight, Etihad would serve breakfast.
It is a special menu for the flight.
Passengers in first class were to choose from several hot and cold breakfast options, as well as the classic lunch and grill section, which allows you to also enjoy a full meal with dishes prepared to your liking, including caviar service if you desire. Snacks featured Mission Impossible specials like lobster rolls and nachos, yet showed no special items related to the Inaugural. The first seller listed a familiar selection of Brut and Rosé champagne, as well as 4 red and white wines each. All choices can of course be enjoyed at any time and order throughout the flight, and we decided to make our choices later into the night. And now, our welcome drinks of 2 glasses of Stand-Up champagne were about to arrive.
Put her first. Yeah. Sorry, give you some space. Thank you. Very cheesy.
Arabic coffee was next to be served, and I got to say that I was impressed by how calm and seasoned the crew handled all pre-takeoff services, given the occasion and the booked-out cabin. Ashira and I felt well taken care of.
Thank you.
It's made from rose water, cardamom, babies, please enjoy. Amazing, thank you.
Several of Etihad's department heads were on board as well, supporting the crew, and it was a great opportunity to chat and gain some insights.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Mario. I'm the cabin manager of this flight to London Heathrow. Together with my team, I'm delighted to welcome you on board today as we celebrate the return of our iconic Airbus A380. With spacious cabins, cutting-edge technology, and exceptional in-flight services, the A380 promises you a journey like no other. We hope you've settled in and made yourself comfortable. For the members of our AJ Guest program, welcome back. You will notice our video production team filming on board today. If you will prefer not to be filmed, please speak to our cabin crew. Thank you.
Final touches included a personal set of loungewear and slippers, and shortly after, the safety video started to play. I was advised that Ashira would be allowed to stay, just as long as we both faced the screen and paid attention. Luckily, the seats have a super wide width of 29.5 inches, and it was able to support both of us. Problem solved.
A light will illuminate on contact with water. Special life jackets are provided for infants. The safety card in your seat area.
With the video over, Ashira went back to her seat, and the last items were cleared as the cabin was secured and we were pushed back from the gate. Amidst views of the midfield terminal, we slowly but steadily made our way toward the runway, where we would patiently wait our turn. And with that, 486 passengers plus crew were ready to take off into the Abu Dhabi sky, thereby welcoming the A380 back into service. The pleasant roar of the 4GP7000 engines soon faded into a sonorous hum as we climbed our way to cruising altitude. The crew was busy with service preparations, and the cabin aisle was now a calm and quiet place compared to the excited bustle just a few minutes ago. With Ashira taking a break, I had a closer look at our first apartments. The very first thing I noticed when inside was how big it actually is. Not just the lounge seat and its pitch, but the apartment itself. Out of the available 3.6 square meters, Etihad had carved an incredibly space-efficient cabin that even gives you room to walk around in. The high sliding doors provide outstanding privacy towards the aisle, and indeed give this a residential feel. The lighting elements are typically Etihad and well spread around the entire apartment, allowing for decent lighting even on night flights. The vanity mirror that holds the Acqua di Parma amenity kit also fits in beautifully. Yet what struck me the most was the consistently spotless appearance of the cabin and controls. Every remote, every button was buffed up to have that factory feel, and the all-new Poltrona Frau leather upholstery made it very clear that Etihad would not settle for anything less than perfection on this aircraft. This attention to detail left an impression. About an hour into the flight, all the other guests in first class were busy taking part in the dinner service, yet Ashira and I decided to first get some rest, since we were not feeling hungry again after our extensive dinner in the lounge. So instead of taking our order, Mario offered to assist us with the beds, while we changed into the provided pajamas. Next to the stairwell in the front of the cabin, you will find 2 bathrooms designated for first class, and this is the bigger one of the 2. It's perfect for changing clothes and features the same beautiful design pattern and projections you will find throughout the entire aircraft. The other bathroom is right next door, and this one features the iconic shower that takes flying first class to yet another level. The crew had already blocked and prepared it for me, as every passenger is entitled to a personal shower slot. That includes additional amenities like body lotion and shower gels, as well as a set of fresh towels. The shower itself has a clever invisible drain and an anti-slip coating. You will have to manage with 5 minutes of continuous running water, which you can turn on and off in order to make it last as long as you need it. The LEDs in the console let you easily keep track. And as much as I would have loved to take a quick shower before slipping under the covers, unfortunately I did come down with a headache and chose to return to my seat instead. Here, the first apartment underwent a stunning transformation as it was set up for the night. The bench is electronically lowered to reveal a 26-inch wide fully flat surface, which is then meticulously prepared into a bed. The first layer is made out of a memory foam mattress cover designed to smooth out the crease in the middle so the bed feels even. Once that is strapped in place, it is covered by a soft duvet which precisely fits on top, and that, together with the cotton sheets, already promises outstanding comfort. Great to see that this procedure has not been changed. Another highlight worth mentioning is the provided pillow, which not only is the throw pillow in disguise and an additional pillowcase, but is actually full-sized and opened freshly for you on every flight. That is another detail that I really appreciate. Here Etihad still chooses to go the extra mile, which by all means not all carriers choose to do. With the decorative throw pillow, an extra blanket is neatly folded into place, in case you feel cold throughout the night. With that, you have an almost 205 centimeters long bed, that's 80.5 inches. All that's left to do now is to apply the finishing touches, such as Etihad's iconic sleep well cards. The small gap in the middle also receives a little cotton padding, so that the 2 separate beds feel more like a double bed at the top. Absolutely stunning. Once in, both of us smiled, as the bed really is as comfortable as it looks. The open space around the divider makes you practically forget that the beds aren't actually connected, which is surprising and a result of excellent cabin design. Before lying down, we then had ordered some hot drinks. I chose a mint tea, while Ashira went with a hot chocolate. I was never in favor of rows 1 and 2, mainly because the open space around the divider always looked to be rather crammed, yet I have to say that now I had somewhat changed my mind about that. Yes, your seat is near the aisle and not at the window, and you don't have that same headrest to lean on when in bed as in rows 3 and 4, but it is still very much open and cozy, way more than I gave it credit for. We then went on to place our breakfast order before switching the lights out. That's one of the most important features of a good first-class product, that you are in charge of your experience and can choose to dine and sleep at whatever time you want. Etihad is one of the airlines who excel at this, as their service structures are set out to revolve around a passenger's every wish, with meals and drinks arranged on demand. But now, our flight was about to take a turn for the worse. My headache had blossomed into a full-grown migraine, and that didn't exactly promise a restful sleep. That was it. I somehow managed to collect all my belongings and changed back into my clothes. I spent the rest of the flight focusing on breathing in and breathing out, and especially on containing everything inside of me. I had missed out. The shower, the breakfast service, and a chance for a closer look at the rest of the aircraft. Sometimes there really is nothing that you can do. Things happen. By deplaning, I had composed myself once again, and pressure slowly started to release. Coming from the jet bridge, I remained at the windows and waved the A380 goodbye, as 20 meters above us, passengers were already waiting eagerly to board our aircraft for its return flight. Despite a 33-minute delay leaving Abu Dhabi, we reached London after just 7 hours of flight time ahead of schedule, and the A380's Inaugural can only be deemed a success for the airline. Regardless of how it ended for myself, I still enjoyed every minute on board and on ground, where Etihad went above and beyond to ensure that Ashira and I had a great time. The crew on board was cheerful and proud. That was obvious and well deserved. I am very grateful that we had the chance to be a part of this new chapter for the carrier, and with 3 more flights aboard the A380 to come, there is a lot more to look forward to. For our stay in London, we chose the Conrad St, and after a good 90-minute drive, we finally arrived there at around 9:30 AM. The hotel was booked to capacity, yet they still managed to arrange an early check-in within an hour after arrival. All I wanted was to close my eyes, so I declined the offered upgrade to a junior suite in the afternoon in favor of sleeping off my headache. That in turn meant staying in a shoebox, as standard rooms here are remarkably tiny, which does not reflect the hotel's price point at all. In the afternoon, we set out to walk across a warm and sunny London, ready to spend a nice weekend in the city.
We went strolling around the neighbouring St James Park when I watched the scene unfold that really put me in a pensive state of mind, thinking about the flight I had just experienced. On the side of the walkway stood a woman who was painting, and she was painting the lake right in front of her. Every stroke she took was a well-calculated and accurate action, and despite what was going on around her, she just stayed in the zone and kept her cool. That stuck in my mind, and it also made me realize that a little more of that laser focus would have helped me out that day as well. The Inaugural was a huge deal for me, and even though I was well prepared, I had 1,000 thoughts in my head all at once. Just ask the crew, they will know what I'm talking about. And that is probably going to be my biggest learning from that day, that taking a breath and leaning back for a second to calmly declutter one's mind is a powerful tool. Nonetheless, Ashira and I had an outstanding time, and it was a pleasure. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care, and bye-bye.